so glad that I was asked to just speak tonight. I've actually never spoken to the large group before, and so I'm a senior, like they said. I've been here for 4 years, and there's just a lot that's happened in my 4 years at college that university has been a really big part of, and most of all, God has just really worked in me, and so I'm just thankful for the opportunity to share that with you guys tonight. So my story is not only about Campus Mission Week and the things that God's doing during that, but also just how He's been working in my heart since I was a freshman here at school. So I'll start with that. Coming to school, I had never heard of InterVarsity before. I would call myself a Christian, but I don't think I really had a personal relationship with the Lord. And I don't know, my year was just really interesting. When I came to school, I was just expecting to live the college life that you see on movies. And I just remember when I got my housing assignment my freshman year, I was placed in Parker Hall, and at that time it was the all-girls dorm. And I remember that is the last place that I wanted to be on campus. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not going to meet any guys, and it's just, it's just going to be weird. And I was just really not happy to be there, but God definitely had a plan in that. And as I started classes and I started my year, I just really got involved in a lot of things that you could see in the movies, like parties and all of the stuff that goes along with that. I was just really living like a selfish and I would say a sinful life. Like, I was just really enjoying all the things that you're not supposed to do, and all kind of the no-nos in life. And so as that was going on, I think I went to the involvement fair and I wrote my name down on one of the pieces of paper saying I was interested, not really knowing what InterVarsity was. And through that, there's 2 girls that actually ended up playing a big part in my experience here. And they came to my room one night and just invited me to the Parker Bible study. And I don't really know how I ended up going. Like, I kind of have a bad memory, and so I don't know exactly what happened, but before I knew it, I was just going to the Parker Bible study like constantly, and I really got to know the girls in that group. And even though I was still not living the lifestyle that I would have chosen before, they just really cared for me and loved on me, and they even did things like invited me to church outside of Bible study and just really wanted to do things and get to know me, and that it just really impacted me in a lot of ways. I didn't even really realize at that time, maybe. And so that's a little bit my freshman year. My sophomore year, I actually studied abroad, and I was in Scotland for the fall semester. And I'm just really thankful that those girls poured into me like they did, because I found myself at times just feeling really alone studying abroad, and I was still making a lot of choices that were even almost dangerous in sometimes, and so God really protected me in that time of my life. But one thing that I did find myself doing is when I was feeling really alone or really scared, one thing that I did cling to was my Bible, and so I was just really thankful that I had that opportunity, that those other leaders reached out to me and really showed me what it meant to dig into the Word and just get to know God on a personal level. And so I did find myself clinging to the Bible in those times that I was really afraid. So I took steps in my personal quiet time that semester, and so when I came back in the spring, one thing that I was really missing was the Christian community. I didn't really have that in my time abroad, and so when I came back to school, I was placed randomly again in the dorms, and guess what dorm I ended up in? I ended up in Pruka, who was now the all-girls dorm, and so I was really excited about that. No, but it was really part of God's plan for me, and luckily one of the girls who was the leader my freshman year was now leading in Pruka, and so I felt right at home, and I just really grew a lot more in my relationship with God and just in Christian community in general, and my faith was just continuing to grow. So that was most of my sophomore year, and after that, my junior year, I was finally getting into what it meant to be in a community, what it meant to really know God and just live in the Word and just kind of know what that means. And so junior year, I decided where I was going to live on campus, and I said, okay, I'm going to live in the co-ed dorm, I'm going to live in Stratton, this is what I've always wanted, and it didn't turn out to be that great. It was actually kind of smelly, and the community wasn't that fun, but I did get asked to lead a Bible study that year, and I got asked to lead the Pruka all-girls Bible study, and at that point I was like, okay, God, I see what you're doing here, and okay, I'll go with you. It's not that bad, it's really fun. So junior year, I started leading a Bible study, and I remember just being really nervous. When you're leading a small group, you find yourself feeling do I really believe this stuff? If I'm going to teach this and help other people understand, you get kind of challenged, and at times it was really nerve-wracking, but at the same time, I really grew the most out of all my years, I think, junior year, when I was put into a situation where I was really challenged to help others grow in their faith, and that in turn helped me, and I was really blessed by that. And so that continued throughout my junior year. And I guess that kind of comes up to this year. I'm a senior now, and I chose to live in Pruka this year, and I am a co-leader for the Pruka Bible Study, and this year has just been really awesome. I have a great co-leader and a great community, and it's just been an awesome opportunity to see and meet all the girls that I've gotten to know, and just the way God is working in their lives, and it's just been a really, really big blessing to hear all the ways that He's working on campus and in the lives of other women, and I've really got a heart now for women's ministry, and I just love where God had me, and He knew it from the beginning, and I didn't know that, but God just always has a greater plan for us, and He is really faithful. Every time that I've said or taken a step in my faith, like He's been there, and He's just really faithful. And so I guess with that, I would just encourage anybody who is a leader just to continue pursuing the Lord, and there's a lot of different things that InterVarsity has as far as leadership. Like I've been to fall conference, and I've been to campus mission week, or chapter focus week, and just all those opportunities, God just continues to meet you and just continue to grow you. And so if anybody's in that position, I would just encourage you to keep following the Lord, and He will be faithful. And I've been blessed by it, and as we've been studying Philippians, I've just really identified with Paul and how he's talking about his sacrifice and how he gets joy out of that, and just sometimes giving up the time that it takes to lead a small group or something. There's just so much joy. The sacrifice is nothing, and I've just learned that any work for Christ is never in vain, and so I just hope that you'd be encouraged by that. And so I'll just finish with, she was going to talk later, but this past campus mission week, this past week, there's been a lot of things that God has done, and I've gotten to know a couple girls who have really been changed and have now decided to dedicate their life to Christ, and just being part of those things is just really encouraging. And so that's a little bit about my story, and